Welcome. Round of applause. Round of applause to everybody who showed up to this video today. Honestly, I'm so happy you're here because we're in 2024, and I would argue that there's no better time to start filming sports, getting into videography, photography, filmmaking than right now. What's up? If you don't know me, my name is Patrick. I am a filmmaker, photographer, videographer based in Boston. And today I'm going to talk about how you can get started in filmmaking and sports videography, to be specific. Because looking back at my career now, you know, the new year, debriefing, filming sports was absolutely essential to my success. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. Let's party.
Nobody up at 8th grade was going crazy. This dish was so amazing. Walked up and said hi.
So following the theme of my last video, getting into sports photography, there's a lot of similarities, but there's also a couple differences. So if you didn't watch that video, then that's fine. I'm happy you're watching this one. Now, to actually get started, I recommend using a camera to film sports, not a potato. A camera that I recommended in my last video, and I'm gonna bring it out again, is the Sony a6400. Look, I just had it on hand. It's like the Sony a6400. I love this little camera. I was working at a turf facility at the time, making $10 an hour, and I saved up to purchase this camera. Man, was it worth it. The a6400 shoots 24 frames per second at 4K and HD at 120 frames per second. So it's a bang for buck camera. If you're a beginner and you're looking to just get started, for sure this one. I've used it on professional shoots and I still use it to this day, filming YouTube videos, hanging out with my friends, and you know, just when I want something small and light to carry around, I use this one. Another camera, if you're looking to spend a little bit more, is the Sony a7 III. I don't have that on me right now. You know what? I'm gonna get it. No, I'm not. I'm not getting it. There's a theme here. I use all Sony cameras. Again, another great camera. You can look it up. It's worth it. So after you get a camera, before you just hit record, I recommend you learn a couple things about actually filming anything. In my career, I made a bunch of mistakes starting off. I think I would just throw it in auto and hit record, which I guess was good for, you know, learning to point my camera at things. But in the end, I wasted a lot of time making bad videos. So if I were to start today, what I would learn first is frame rate and shutter speed. An industry standard is the 180-degree shutter rule. That means whatever frame rate you pick, you need to have your shutter speed double it in the denominator. It's kind of confusing, but let me explain it. For example, I'm shooting in 24 frames per second right now, so that'd be 1/48. Now most cameras don't have 48, so it's just 1/50. Yeah, 24 plus 24 is 20. Yeah, another example is 60 frames per second. Your shutter speed would be 1/120. Now for my camera, I only have 1/125, so it's close enough. It's how you can get the most natural motion blur in your footage, meaning like how we would see each other talking and moving around in real life. And that's what you're trying to emulate in your footage. Right now, actually, I don't have an ND filter on because I'm on a 14mm and it doesn't have filter threads, so I cranked the shutter speed so it's all choppy. And you kind of don't want that. It just looks too sharp, you know? Kind of jarring. So that's a good example. This, hell no. I'm gonna switch it right now. Ideally, you want this shutter speed, much more natural. So 24 frames per second is pretty much real-time talking head interviews. 60 is slow motion. So if you're shooting sports, you'd wanna shoot in 60 frames per second or 120, something like that. Something you can slow down if that is what you're looking for.
Into town, I knew it, no doubt. I love this girl inside and out. Her beautiful smile, her hair and her style.
Next, I would probably focus on ISO and aperture. So ISO is essentially how sensitive your sensor is to the light. Gosh, that's too many S's and I struggle with that. But honestly, I don't even touch the ISO all that much because I use my native ISO. Native ISO is the ISO that your camera best performs at, and most cameras have a native ISO. So I would just use that and stick with it.
Driving me wild, we sat together on the bus, we sat together every lunch.
Aperture pretty much controls how much light you're letting through the lens. Right now I'm at 1.4, that's letting in a lot of light, and that creates a lot of depth in the background. If I didn't want a blurry background, then I'd stop down to like f7, and that lets less light in, but it makes the background sharper. So that's also useful to know depending on how you want your footage to look. And so I recommend getting all those things down, and then you're ready to film.
She had me switching up the polos and ditching yo-yos. I went from moving solo dolo to being so old.
Now the next best thing you can do is just start putting in the reps. Show up to local events, take that footage home, edit it up, learn the software, and put it out on social media. Message local athletes, ask them if they want a quick mixtape, maybe charge them like 50 bucks for one. Email athletic directors, say, hey, I'm a local videographer, does your team need any media? Do some unpaid work, show up and get exposure, because that's what I did. For the first 2 years I wasn't getting paid. Now I get asked at least once a week to film a new event. By going to these events, you're meeting people, you're shaking hands, you're getting to know people, people are beginning to know you. And aside from making good videos, the best thing you can do is just be nice to people, be friendly, get to know them. And after a couple months of doing this, showing up, making random videos, you're gonna realize that you're learning, you're getting your technique down, you might have landed a couple jobs, and then you can upgrade the camera from there. Now at the end of the day, it's gonna be exhausting. You're gonna have to go through the trials and tribulations of making videos, figuring out how to edit. But at the end of the day, for me personally, I like working for myself, and my favorite thing about doing photography, filmmaking is the people that I've met. Some of my best friends have come from just me randomly showing up to events. Come on, if that's not motivating, I don't know what is. All right, that's gonna do it for me. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you learned a little something. I know I didn't go too much into detail. Let me know if I should. I just think there's other YouTubers where that's like their thing, to dive into camera settings, so just go find those videos. There's plenty of them. But next week I have a really fun video. It's actually starting as soon as I post this video.
Oh, that was it.